Hello and welcome to how I play my level 75 bard in Everquest. So we're going to jump right into this. Now, if you haven't watched the previous videos in this how I play series of videos, this builds on a lot of that, but I'll kind of cover some of the stuff here in its full detail. So we're going to go over spells, we're going to go over hotbars, we're going to go over how I kind of have my multi-bind setup for this character. We're going to talk about gear, and that should be everything. So spells. We have Enric's Psalm of Power. I guess songs, I guess would be the right word. We're currently using this. Now, why are we using this? This is level 69. We're level 75. There was no upgrade that I can find from 70 to 75 to the Psalm of Power line. Now at 76 and beyond, it becomes the Aria line of spells. Now there is an alternate spell here. These are spell focus, right? No, it's combat initiates. What the hell is this thing? Oh, it's haste, right? So this is the over haste combination with spell damage. Now, if we go to the Psalm of Pyrotechnics here, this is an alternative, right? But this only increases the damage of fire songs up to level 75. Now, I'm losing some value out of this, right? Like I'm losing a little bit of value by still using it, but at this point, it's not a big deal because of the way I play. She performs as well as she can, but you know, it is what it is. And so I just run Enric's Psalm of Power. Now I do lose decay, but I still get the 25% over haste, which is just goes over the cap to haste. So putting us at 225 haste is our goal there. So next I run the current Katata. This is just the current level Manus regen song. And then I run Cello's Accelerating Chorus. This is it's a 2-minute duration run speed buff. Gives us like 65 velocity, maybe 75 velocity, depending on AAs. 70 backwards, 81 forward, and on the bard. I don't think the other characters get that much. Definitely, I run that as much as I can. I love running fast, and that is one of the reasons why I like to run a bard at all times. War March of the Muram. That is the wrong spell. I feel like none of my stuff saves, right? Like I feel like something is definitely going weird here. Nope, never mind. War March of the Muram is the current level haste. Okay. This is a haste song, increases attack and all the other stuff. I run that at all times. Stormblade, another proccing ability here. Now this will give a proc chance to our melee attacks. If we go over here, Stormblade, 1000 crit, normal is 219. So it's pretty nice to have until I change up some things, right? In the future, I do plan on changing this character around level 85. We're going to start using chants when we get the first improved chant stuff. So there. Then we have our first lull here at 71. We got that. It lulls up to 75. So the things we're fighting, I couldn't even lull if I wanted to, because we're fighting yellows to us at 75 and, you know, higher level mobs there. Now in this series, I have not mezzed at all. This is our current level mezz, but it only does up to 78. Now if I mezzed, it would be beneficial, but I just haven't. Early on in this series, the Hobbs and Friends, I did some charming with the bard, and I still keep the charm up to date. I don't use it as much anymore because it doesn't feel like it flows into the way I play, but it is what you should probably be doing if you're playing a single bard. Charm the ads, mezz the ads, stuff like that. I just don't play that way. It takes more effort to do it that way than just to kill everything. Then I have Group Invis song, just in case I need to invis for any reason. It works pretty well. I just keep it there. Eventually we'll get an hay to replace it, but it is what it is. And then here at level 75, we got our first crescendo line of spells, which is a new way of doing mana song. So this like takes time to tick down, if you will. I think it's right here. So it's like a 35-second tick down, and then when it ticks down, you get your resources. So that is in my melody. My melody has changed slightly by putting that at the end. For the most part, we'll be updating that here pretty soon. But for the most part, that's all the spells I use. Now, I do use Aura of the Muse from level 70 right here. Let me see here. Go here. And I just feel like there was not a lot of spells at this level 70 to 75 that were like upgrades, right? I don't see any haste upgrades. I don't see anything, you know, those spell upgrades. So it's a very weird level. I'm trying to find Aura of the Muse. I should probably just do it this way. It's so much easier. We can kind of see what this does. So now this kind of does the overhaste, and it does some spell damage, the same as a Psalm of Power. So the way I'm doing my melody, right, is here. Let's go back to that. There is some gaps, and that's just because I'm not going to spend the time mathing out a level 75, level 70 character, right? I'll math out the durations on my level 125 bard, but this is, it's just like the levels go so fast by the time I did the math to figure out what spells I could put where. It would be done. And you can see here it's pretty much just cast everything and then skip Celos and throughout the duration of this, and then at the end we do crescendo because it has a longer redo. So it's a pretty basic melody, and it's pretty basic gameplay for how I play it. But for the most part, my bars are still the same. We have the same attack button. In my multi-bind down here, we did change a few things. So Boastful Bellow here is in the multi-bind now. It's doing, you know, a significant amount of damage there. We picked up Bladed Song at 75, which causes the target to take damage when they land a melee attack. So this is something we put on pretty much every mob. This is a 5-minute reuse. Boastful is 18. Cacophony, Caconi, I don't know. I ask my wife how to say it, and she tells me, and then I forget. Like I'm borderline illiterate when it comes to saying some fancy words here. But this spell does a nice amount of damage, and it does a interruption of the spell casting. See, this one does 600 damage every 6 seconds for 1 minute. So, what, 6,000 damage maybe? I'm terrible at math too, if you didn't know. And then Song of Stone, which just summons 2 gargoyles to be our swarm pets. So I do those on cooldown whenever I'm fighting, and it just increases our damage. And then I have tracking in here because I like seeing this, right? I have tracking. I have it sorted in reverse alpha, so I can see, you know, when I glance over at the screen for the bard, right, I can see that there is names up, and then I can go and realize, you know, figure out what I need to kill and what I need to do to get those. I try to get all the names I can, but, you know, it is what it is. For the most part, these are all buttons for the future from my 125 bard that I copied over. I do have macros for Mez here. These are the same they've always been. Stop the song, target X target 7, cast 7, which that's probably wrong at this point. No, it's still right. Cast 7, same here. X target 8, cast 7, and then charm is still good. So charm the whatever mob we need and do that. Now later on we're going to get AoE mezzes, and we'll probably drop charm for AoE mez. Because I find actual value in AoE mez because it kind of stops the mobs for a few seconds. You know, gives you a little time there, but it's still resisted so much that it's it's frustrating at times that you're trying to do something. But for the most part, the bars are the same. Everything appears the same. These are just kind of buttons to show me what's down here when I'm looking, just because the way I look at the screen, I can see this part easier than I can see this part. Now, gear-wise, I'm wearing the broken mirror gear set here. This is the intro set. It's not fantastic until we get the AUGs, but we have to do the mission for that. I'm doing double swords at the moment. Ideally, long term, I'm going to go with a rapier with stun, main hand, and a remote healing one-handed blunt in the offhand for this character. That's where I feel like this character is going to be going, but maybe the healing offhand will be something else. That's how I run my 125 Bard, and I feel like that's the best. That's the best for me how I play, because I get that extra healing from the offhand procs, and I get the stun from the main hand procs. So it just depends. Now, at this point, you're going to want as much reconnaissance as you can get. Now, this gear here is the best reconnaissance. I totally got rid of all my elaborate stuff, but all the other Defiant gear I had was like in the 12s, 13s, whereas the Preserving Protector gauntlets from the TBM is 26. So that maximizes our song singing abilities right here. So here's like I have Crypt Hunter boots. So you can see here the red and the blue is the difference here. Crypt Hunter is the drop stuff from the group missions in TBM, and this is the vendor purchase stuff. So 26 extra singing. You know, this is like insane stats on some of this stuff to really help you out. Like, these are the way this gear works. These are like out of era focus items on, you know, lower level gear, right? Like you can see here, this 110 all the way up to 110 on the fire-based damage. So like 73% extra damage on a fire ability. So if I was singing the Chant of Flame or whatever it is, I would get that extra bonus, right? We also get Warn Attack on this item here. So definitely something to like really look for when you're looking at gear. I find this is the best, but it's tedious because you have to buy a Type 5 and a Type 9 AUG to really get it going, and that costs quite a bit of Remnants of Tranquility. I do plan on progressing through the Broken Mirror with these guys and seeing how that goes, but if we can't progress through it because of the difficulty, we will be falling back and we will be switching to like whatever expansion we're going through at the time is gear, because this TBM is a later expansion here, right? So this is max level 105, and that goes into Empires of Kunark, which was 105 also, and then 110. So you can see there that this gear is like pretty much 10 expansions beyond where we typically be. So it's really good stuff to get, and you can literally buy it at like level 75 with Remnants of Tranquility. These are tradable, I believe, on all servers, but they're tradable on Front of Eye where I play, so that's all I really care about. So they're easy to get a hold of, and you can if you have a 125, you can power through them really quick, doing all the missions. So now that's pretty much all the spells. That's all my hotbar. That's all my buttons. That's for the most part. That's how I play the Bard, right? I turn my melody on like so, and then just let that sing, right? Now I just really go up and attack. You see in the videos, the Hobbs and Friends series, I position my Shadow Knight, and then I position my Bard or my Beast Lord. Pretty much every fight. Typically, I try to pull to the let me grab my Beast Lord here. So I'll, like, if say I'm pulling with one of my characters, I'll try to pull over like the Bard here, and the Beast Lord, because they're usually standing like right next to each other, and they can have that auto attack being turned on, plus all their abilities and whatnot that they get just from me dragging it over them and then turning the mob so that they're attacking it from behind. But it just depends on, a lot of factors there if that actually works. but I usually end up doing a lot of micro repositioning and stuff of the characters. That's one of the reasons why I don't like melee characters in most of my groups, just because it's a lot of tedium to get them to perform, as well as, like, say, a mage who literally you just put your face on the keyboard and roll it back and forth a few times and you're doing more DPS. But I digress there. But yeah. So that's pretty much everything about the Bard I have to say. Now, as we go up into 70, from 75 to 80 into 80 into 90, we will be getting some new abilities, new stuff like that will change some of this up. But for the most part, there's nothing defining that is changing us at this point. So in the future, there will be more to this, but it is what it is. And the armor looks kind of cool. I like the color of the blue with the red there, so it's kind of nice. But there we go. So if you got any questions or comments, please pop them down below in the comments section, and I will take a look. And if you want to watch me play the Bard and my other characters, I do play this character in the Hobbs and Friends series that should be like pretty much daily episodes of at this point. But let me know. Thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.